All right, all right, all right. Hey, 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 hey. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Coach Vic. Glad to be here with you for another beautiful day. As you can see, I am back in my office as normal. Looking forward to giving you the good stuff. I was actually had a little bit of technical difficulties, but that didn't stop me from getting the good news to you guys. And today, as the OJs tell us, I'm not even sure if you can hear the goddamn music because they be muting this shit. We're going to be talking about sales. More importantly, your fear of sales. All right. So, like always, let me know. Number one, if you can hear me, you can see me okay, whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching the replay. Just want to make sure I'm coming off clear. Everything is copacetic. Everything's looking good. But yeah, I want to, first off, before I jump into it, I want to thank you guys because, and you can't tell, but my voice is a little bit hoarse because I've been going hard putting together, or actually should say revamping all of my course curriculum. So for those who's already working with me, you got a big surprise coming up in store. I'm actually really excited to share with you guys some of the things I've been working on. For those of you who are not working with me, what are you doing? I mean, unless you've already rolling in cash and you already got everything on lock, you need to be working with me. I'm here to help you invest. We're going to do this together. But yeah, if you hear me a little more hoarse than normal, my voice sounds a little bit different. It's because I've been going hard in the paint, putting a lot of stuff together, doing research, and that's actually helped me step up my game for my own business as I explain things a little bit, as I realized, hey, I was doing this, but this didn't make any sense. Let me stop doing that, and I'm already seeing results. So, with that said, let's jump into the topic today because we're going to talk about your fear of selling. All right. Now, here's the thing: people are afraid to sell often, and it doesn't necessarily come across as, oh my God, I'm afraid to sell. It's comes up a lot of bullshit excuses. And I know this for a fact because I used to have the same excuses. So I'm not here to hate on anybody, but let's be real here. When you are afraid to sell, it will be a lot more difficult to actually sell property that is good property that somebody can use, that somebody can actually um, use to help them do whatever they're trying to do. And you're because of your fear, you're preventing somebody from achieving their goals and their dreams. So don't be a dick like that. All right. But here, I want you to picture this. The phone rings, okay, and you answer it, and you hear the voice of a middle-aged woman. And she saw your ad for the property you have for sale, and she wants to know a little more information. That's all she says. As soon as she says that, your heart rate starts to rise. Your palms get a little sweaty, you get a little nervous. You awkwardly kind of say, well, it's on Old County Road, and it's about half an acre, and yeah, awkward silence. The lady breaks the silence with a question of, well, is it still available? Can I put my RV on it? And at this moment, you realize you don't really know the answers to her question. You're honest about your ignorance, so you go say, you know what, I'm not too sure. Sorry. Then you go on to say, well, I guess you should check with the county to be sure. I don't want you to buy something that, you know, you're not really sure you should get because it won't do what you need it to do. And then after an awkward pause, she's like, okay, I'll give the county a call. And then the call's over. You feel good that it's over, but you're like, oh, I wonder if that could have went better. She seemed pretty interested. I guess after she calls the county, she'll call me back and, we'll finally strike a deal. But then you realize that she ain't coming back. That was it. That was your opportunity. And the thing is, you didn't really do much to help yourself get the sale, but you've done a lot to hurt yourself on that sale. Let me know whether you're watching this live or the replay, if you've ever been in a situation in this like that, something similar, where you're on the phone with somebody, they came to you because they were interested in what you had for, and because you were not prepared, or you just have this fear of selling or just fear of money and asking for sales, that person left empty-handed and they left without getting the thing they came to you for. It happened to me. It happened a couple of times where I didn't know how to help the person who came to me for help. I remember one of my first sales, the guy was like, he was basically walking me through the sales process. And at the end of that, I didn't even have a way to take money from him. This dude needed my property for something, and I couldn't even sell it to him because I was not prepared. I was afraid to ask for the cash. And I was so afraid I didn't even have a way to ask for that money. So I vowed I got to be better than that. Like, I have to be better. At first, it was just about, I just want to make the sale. And that's important. I'm not saying that it's not. Never be ashamed for making money. It's what makes the world go around. Because money is just an exchange of value. That's all it is. So you're just saying, hey, I have something valuable, or I can do something valuable for you. That's all you're saying. And the money is just a reflection of that. But later on, I started to realize that it wasn't just about making a sale. It was also about being beneficial, helping, making sure I can help people get to a certain place in their life. And without the right sales or techniques, that doesn't happen. I just get in my own way. And now the person who came to me doesn't get help, and I don't get help because I ain't getting paid. So today I want to talk about my system I do for sales. Now, obviously, in this live stream, I'm not going to have a ton of time to go through every single detail. I'm only on this for 30 minutes and I'm out. But if you have any questions, go ahead, shoot them in the comments, or make sure that you hit me up later on and post in the group, whatever it is. I'll do my best to help you out. All right, so let's get to it. All right. Now, in order to make sales in this business, I have what I like to call the 3 C's. I've learned this from other industries, but it definitely applies to selling land. It probably applies to selling anything. And before I give you the 3 C's, and I spoke about these before, let me give you a little more detail of what they mean here. First off, there's clarity, there's certainty, and there's conviction. Okay. Now I'm gonna go into what each one means and how it relates to selling land, and then you'll kind of see how it all comes together. Okay. So first, we got clarity. Now, clarity is key to being a land investor. Now, here's why. First, before we're even on the phone to sell to somebody, we're trying to actually be clear on the investments we are trying to acquire. So if you don't know what you're buying before, you're just trying to get land in any old way, you're not going to be very clear about what you're getting. And then it's going to be very difficult for you to convey the value to the people who are going to buy from you eventually. So you got to be clear. You got to be clear. Now, being clear on your property isn't just like, okay, I know what I'm getting, but understand what are people going to be able to do with that property? Is it a residential property where they can build a house? If they can build a house, what kind of house is it? Are tiny homes allowed? Can it be a mobile home? Does it have to be a stick home? Stick home's just a traditional house with frames and studs and drywall, all that. It's a traditional thing. Can a container home work? Would that work? Right? You're thinking about all these things. And if it is a home there, how are they going to get their power? How are they going to get their water? How are they going to get their gas if they have that? Is it going to be a ideal spot for solar or any other like natural or green technology? Understanding these things help. If it's not a small like residential lot and it's like a bigger lot, are they going to be able to, or can you put farm animals and shit like that on there? And if you can, what's the minimum size that you need for these farm animals? Like that comes to law, not necessarily from what each animal needs. So that's part of being clear. You got to be very clear on what you got. And then once you truly understand what you got and what value it can provide a person, be clear on how you present that information. Now, put in the chat, how do you normally present the information you have, as in when you're trying to sell your property? What do you normally do? You just put up an ad, right? You'll probably say this, and you talk about more how you can own it than what the property can actually do. And that's not terrible. It's not the worst thing in the world because, well, if they're already searching for land, you assume that they know what they want the land for, and they're just trying to find out if they can get something in their budget. But you got to go a step further, because what people don't know can hurt them in a sense where they're not actually sure in all the different elements and the different angles that they can be pursuing to get this property or achieve a goal. So being clear on how you present that can help somebody understand, like, okay, well, I thought I could only do this thing, or I could only get a residential property, or whatever it is. But now, because of this information that this person is giving me, I know I can go a little bit further. So with that said, when you put that together, you're clear on what you got, and you're clear on how how you are conveying that value to people. You can start to have a good idea of what type of people will be attracted to that. And then you can start to talk their language more directly. So, like, for example, if you have a lot that is in a certain area and you know that area is full of maybe people over the age of 50, right? That message is going to be tailored a little bit different to property that was more in like an urban setting for younger adults. And so it's not just how you're going to market it, but it's also when you're on the phone with a person that's over 50, you're probably going to speak to them a little bit differently than you would to speak to a person that's 27. It's just how we are. You're trying to convey the message in the language that they speak so they can understand you clearly. And that, again, that's what that clarity is. Now, think about this. If you don't have any of that information, people will easily get confused, and a confused buyer does not buy. And sometimes it's not about not necessarily being clear, it's just not giving enough information. And that happens so often. So if I were to withhold information from you, how confident would you be to spend thousands of dollars with me, especially if you're buying something big like real estate online? Go ahead, put that in the chat. If 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 you've actually experienced that, can you tell me about it real quick? Like how have you felt when somebody's withheld information from you, especially on something that's kind of important like real estate or a car or hell, a blind date? Yeah, whatever. It could be many things. I had a friend once, he told me about this. It's actually kind of funny. He was like 9 or 10 years old, Too Short, local Bay Area rapper legend. He had what was supposed to be his last album, that which wasn't true. But him and his friend were at a record store. You guys remember record stores? And they're like, all right, well, we don't have enough money to get both albums because there's two different albums that came out. One was, I think it was West Side Connection with Ice Cube, Mac 10, and WC. And it was a Too Short album. So they're like, all right, well, I'll get one. I'll get the Too Short album. You get the West Side Connection album, and then we can, compare notes and trade if we want to. Um, and then so like my friend was like, well, let me get I want to get the West Side Connection. Like, no, no, you let me get the West Side Connection. You get the Too Short album. Turns out that Too Short album was terrible. My friend was so mad because he felt he was blindsided and bamboozled by basically his friend convincing him to buy the album he didn't want, thinking that they can swap information. It's kind of funny. So that's what happened. You have lack of clarity. You don't really know what you're getting. You don't know what you're selling. People get frustrated. Um, Basically, you make something that's simple and easy. You make it more complex than it should be because it's not clear. And again, a confused person does not buy. All right. So oh, one last thing when you get people confused and you don't really know who you're talking to, you're not really sure who would like the property. Guess what type of leads you're going to get? That's right. Those tire kickers, those people who just want information, basically unqualified leads. And that's your fault because since you didn't speak specifically or clearly to a person or a group of people that would be most interested in what you have to sell, and you're speaking in a way that they understand, you're not getting those folks. So you're getting a bunch of people who don't really know what they want, who aren't really serious, and they're going to waste your time. So clarity, the big thing, first thing. So next thing is certainty. What do I mean by that? Bottom line, it is hard to sell without being the expert on the product you're selling. Now, you don't have to be the end all, know all, be all of everything. And being an expert doesn't guarantee a sale, but it definitely helps a great deal. So you're already being clear with your messaging, you're being clear when you're communicating with people, but you got to be certain about the information that you have. So here's an example. I have an electric vehicle. It's a Toyota RAV4 EV. The Tesla made the drivetrain, so the batteries and the motor in a RAV4 body. Now, when I went to the Toyota dealership to buy this car used, I did a lot of research on it. I'm an electric car fan. I'm a car fan in general, but I like electric cars. But when I went to the dealership, it was obvious that the salesman knew nothing about electric vehicles. They don't work the same way as gasoline vehicles do. For example, on rolling on the freeway in a gas car, you'll get better gas mileage than you would driving in the city. On an electric vehicle, it's a little bit opposite. Electric cars can actually use regenerative braking and things like that to regain some of that energy back into the battery to reuse it. So, but he didn't know that. And there's a couple other things that he really didn't understand. And I noticed how I felt was a little uneasy. I was like, shit, well, I don't know if I want to buy from this guy. What if he's hiding information from me? What if he just doesn't know and he really can't help me? Granted, I had enough research done. I knew exactly what I wanted, so I didn't have to worry about that. But I went from being completely sure for what I wanted to being a little unsure. And so that happens. So without that certainty and understanding understanding your information properly and being certain with it and not kind of like, I think maybe, it's going to be hard to make a sale. So if you ever experienced that, how did you feel in the buying process similar to that? Let me know. Let me know because I know I can't be alone in feeling something like that. Now, on the flip side, what if you actually went to a place where the buyer, or excuse me, the salesperson actually educated you properly on a subject or the product at hand? How did you feel then? Normally, at least for me, I feel pretty good. I feel pretty confident in my decision to buy. His certainty, aka confidence, was transferred to me. That gave me the confidence of like, here's some money. I want to keep going. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about here. That's the certainty that is there. Now, in order to get certainty, you need to write this down because this is very important. You need to know the basics about your property. First, first, what things does your target audience want to know about this property? You got to know, again, going back to clarity, know who you're going to be talking to. Now, if you have a rural lot that is a low dollar lot, small, quarter acre of a lot in the middle of nowhere, they're going to want different things than somebody who has a lot that's in a nice area that is, maybe has an HOA or something, or then they're going to be even different than someone who wants like a 50-acre lot, right? So you got to know who you're talking to first. And what questions are they going to have? Well, some generic questions are like, what size is it? Where exactly is the lot? Or how do I get there? Can I put my RV on it? Do you do owner financing? Can I have farm animals on the lot? Is there power or water? Or if there's not, how do I get power or water or whatever onto the lot? So understanding these things will help you, like in advance, will help you get that certainty that you need. So when you're on the phone, you're not actually transferring your lack of confidence to the buyer, because that lack of confidence will make them unconfident and it's going to make them not buy. But when you understand these questions and you're already prepared before any sales conversations happen, you're going to feel good. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel confident in what you got. Now, you don't need to know everything, and because it's impossible to know everything, but you just need to know the basics, and you need to understand the basics enough so when people ask you those questions, you're not like, you gotta be like, hey, this is the answer. Boom, boom, boom. Once they see how certain you are and how you're not trying to be weird about certain things, they're going to feel good about buying from you. That's just how it works. Now, if they have any other random questions that you just don't know, that's cool. Help them get the answer. That doesn't mean you do the work for them. No, 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 that's stupid. What you need to do, well, you don't need to do it. What works for me is taking that one extra step, but still relying on them to actually do the work that they need. For example, if somebody had a specific ask, so let's say they want to put a house on their lot, but the house they want to make a container home out of that, or use a container home, right? If you're not sure what a container home is, think about shipping containers on big oil tankers that come from China that have a bunch of stuff in it. People are repurposing those to make houses out of them. Now, the way you do it is that it can be a small home, or you can kind of cut them up and put them together and make a big home. It depends on the design and all that. But that person was curious. I'm like, you know what? That's a very specific question. I don't know. Now I know who will know. Here's a number to planning and zoning to the county. Boom. So I've actually taken an extra step to help them get the answer, but I'm not going to actually do the work for them because with anything, a lot of people don't always appreciate things they don't work for. And how hard is it for this person to ask the questions that they have to the person that will actually get them the answers that they need, especially since I don't know exactly what's going on. I don't know why they're asking these questions. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish. So me trying to ask planning and zoning in this example on their behalf, that doesn't help because there are so many nuanced things and there's probably follow-up question that planning and zoning may ask that I can't answer because I'm answering for somebody else. So I'm like, here's the information. Find out if it works for you. Great. Give me a call. If not, I totally understand. You need to find something that's going to help you out. All right. So that's how that works. Now, the third thing, conviction. So listen, the only way you will get people to trust you on the phone, especially in a single call, is having the conviction or the courage to actually steer them to the right decision. I'm gonna say that again. The only way to get people to trust you on the phone for them to make a decision from you, especially on that first phone call, is having the conviction, aka courage, to steer them to making the right decision. Even that if that right decision is not to buy your lot, it can go a long way. Now, listen, you got to understand your time in buying this lot and your due diligence and all that and your experience, it can actually change your life. Think about it. They're buying property from you. This person may not have the means to buy property in a traditional way. They may not have means to get the loan or the credit score to do that, or find a deal that's something that they can afford. But because they can own property, you can give them something that they can have without you. I don't know about you, but owning property like that is life changing. Knowing there's always a place for you to go that you can build on. It is your slice of America that is just for you. Most people don't have that. Most people are always renting. Most people have to worry about where they can go and where they can't go. Most people don't have the freedom to just build something with their two hands or have somebody build it for them. That's why I say it's life changing. But you have to have the courage and or the conviction to express that to them. So, how do you express that courage? How do you express that conviction? Well, first, you got to really understand what they want so you can make sure what you have to offer is something that they need. How do you do that? We'll ask some questions like, what are your goals with this property? And they'll tell you. And that answer may tell you, like, okay, this property is not for them. And I can confidently say that because this is what they're trying to do, but they came to me. I'm the wrong person, right? How about how quickly do you want to get this done by? And this is the goal. If they're trying to get something done ASAP, maybe you are the person because, we do our own closing here. We can move quickly on it, et cetera, and so forth. Another question. Is there anything else you need to help make this dream a reality? To see what other moving pieces there are. Now, I ask this question because I know I want to be able to sell them more than just land. If they need, let's say, solar panels, for example, I want to be able to help them get those solar panels at a good rate. If they need more information on how to build their own thing, I want to be able to give, sell them some information on that. They want to learn homesteading or whatever. I want to be able to help them do that and then make a little profit from it, right? So I'm helping them accomplish their goals more quickly because I understand exactly what they're looking for. And sometimes people don't understand what they need until you ask these questions and they have to sit there and really think about it. Instead of going off their gut, they're going off actual logical decisions. Having the conviction or the courage to do that and let them know, like, look, man, what you need is this property because you told me you want this, 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 and this. Well, my property will fulfill all of those desires and then some. And it's at a price you can afford. Without that conviction, how do you think that person is going to feel? They're not going to have the confidence to make a decision moving forward with you. All right. Now, the more of these pictures, or excuse me, more of these questions that you ask, the better. And then once you start having the information about that, again, this isn't like a 45-minute conversation. You talk, this is like a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You can start to paint the picture. So this is how that looks. They're like, hey, I'm like, so what are you looking for the property for? Oh, yeah, I want to put a house on the lot. I'm like, oh, great. Do you want to put a tiny house or a red house? No, I want a regular size house. Wonderful. Well, what are your goals? Like, besides the house, like what is this for? Like, oh, well, I'm looking to retire. I'm looking to move. I'm looking to do this. I like being near the lake. I'm like, got it. So you're telling me that you are looking for your own slice of America. You want to build your dream home, your retirement home here, have the peace and quiet that this area provides, be near the water, have a place for your grandchildren to come visit you in the countryside, wake up, not have nothing to do but whatever else questions I ask, and just enjoy your solitude. Do I have that right? And they're like, Yeah. Yes, you do. And they see that, they can start to picture that in their mind. And they start to picture that vision, a vision that they really find compelling. Guess what? They're going to be more compelled to do. But without that, maybe they don't understand their vision as clearly. So it's hard for them to understand. And now that's when buyers like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should think about this. Maybe I should start. No, stop second guessing yourself. Have the conviction to be like, look, man, if you really want this, I have it right here for you. It's available for you. There's nothing stopping you from getting it. Go after your dreams. But you have the conviction to really say things of that nature to help them take that step forward. Because that first step, as we all know, can be kind of scary. So we got to help them do that. All right. So here it is. You see this. It's all about basically being prepared. That's all it's all about. Right. This is how you get over your fear of selling, because you don't see it as you trying to get money from somebody. You don't see it as people grilling you or quizzing you. You see it as you are giving value and guidance to people who need your help. And I know you want to help folks. I mean, you may not have told me that directly, but I have a feeling you want to help folks. So, with that said, I want to make sure we all ever understand everything. Whether you're watching this live or you're watching a replay, let me know. Let me know if this is helpful, if this is valuable. Now, listen, my experience and my knowledge can really help you. Now, my goal for this live stream and all the live streams is for you to take some information and run with it, apply it to your land investing business. That's my goal. If you take my experience, my mistakes, my successes, and you just use it to kind of shortcut your successes, I'm going to be happy, right? This too can change your life if you allow it. I mean, more sales, easier sales, more business. What does that more business, more sales get you? More cash. What does that more cash get for you? Does it buy your time back? Does it allow you to give your kids a college education? Does it allow you to, buy some exotic toys for yourself? I don't think there's a wrong answer here. As long as you're not using the money to kill people, it's yours. Do what you want. You help somebody, they rewarded you with the sale. Go ahead and enjoy it or use it for whatever you want. But here's the thing. If you don't start to apply this to your business now, why are you here? Right? But I know you. You actually won't, you're going to do this. You might be a little nervous, but you're ready now, but you may need a little help. So here's the thing. I got a cheat sheet I can just give you that has a lot of these points outlined and different sample questions that you can use to help you in your sales process. So if enough people write cheat sheet in the comments, I'll go ahead and PM everybody the PDF. I'm gonna make it all nice. I'm gonna make it look pretty. I'm going to, do whatever it takes to make it more eye-catching. Because I have my notes right here. This is what I look at. I look at my notes. And so I'll make them nice, give you the questions to ask, give you the process of the conversation flow. This is similar, or if not the same, as what I give my the people who I'm working with to help them invest in land, the same type of script. So if you want that, go ahead and type cheat sheet in the comments below. I'll make sure I get, if enough people want it, I'll make it available to you guys. If no one wants it, all good, not a big deal. But other than that, if you found this helpful, you found this useful, please share the wealth. Let people know about the group. Let people know about me as a certified land investor. Hell, if you want the merch, well, you can't get this one because you got to actually work with me. And then, after I help you buy and sell your first property, then I'll give you one of these. But if you want some merch to show your land investing skills with pride, let me know. I got more things coming. But other than that, I'm glad to have been able to help you. Thank you guys for everything. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out.